today I want to do something different, and what I want to do is I was talking to Alex, and what we were talking about is that uh, we could have like a
So we were just kind of joking around the other day. We were at like a nice cafe, and we were just kind of joking around, and we're like, one day there's going to be, kind of like an Uber for jetpack, basically. And I was like, yeah, well, you just be able to call it up on your phone, like, and you have the jetpack come in, come down, come fly right at your feet, and you just put it on, and it takes you to your destination, and it just became a joke. And it started out as a joke, but then we started really spitballing the ideas and how we could, manage to do that, and like what it would take to do that. And we kind of wanted to come on here and talk about that a little bit.
exactly, yeah. So one thing that I see is that people often don't realize that it's possible to start something or to like put more effort in something to kind of see where it goes. And one of the reasons that happens is that people believe, and I used to believe, that's something that I'm learning along the way, that kind of we need to do it by our own. So, I don't have the expertise. I don't know how to build like a jetpack. So we don't know anything about jetpacks itself. So how could we create a business on that, right? That's kind of the first, that's kind of where most people are stuck. They're like, I don't have expertise, so I'm not gonna do it. And something, go ahead, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
No, yeah, something that I've learned about this is that, you don't need to really have expertise in every step. It's more about like using what you have of skills and interests and combining that with kind of other people and what they can contribute to like a business.
Mm.
So I think that for this exercise of kind of brainstorming on a new business on that area, there are two things I would like to do. One is use ChatGPT for kind of narrowing down or like bringing some oxygen into this idea, like maybe offering a different perspective of the challenges and opportunities. And secondly, like going into like really trying to find people that would be interested in that.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anything else you'd like to add on that start?
No, no, I think that's a good start.
Okay, so yeah, let me start with like prompts in ChatGPT, and this is kind of the I haven't done for this specific situation, so I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna get out of that. But what I would say is we're brainstorming a business idea for a jetpack as a service
Similar to Uber.
business. What? For jetpacks as a service offering.
Yeah.
Uh, what are kind of the uh, opportunities and challenges for that? Two things I'd like to add. This is kind of the V1 for like improving this. Two things I'd like to add. First one is politeness. I'm doing this exercise of being polite to AI. So hi, please, can you help us? Can you help us with something? We're brainstorming, and the other thing is that when we're talking about Jetpack as a service, there are two things. There's like hardware, and there's kind of software slash navigation.
I would also add fuel.
Fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that needs to be kind of solved, right?
Yeah.
I have an intuition or like a thought that kind of what most people are looking to is like the hardware, kind of the overall solution.
Mhm.
But that can be challenging. I've had like startups that had like hardware. So for example, I had like a soccer startup that did like a recording automatically using AI to kind of highlight the some plays on that game. Yeah, and hardware is hard. So for this, I'm not sure if we should start with hardware, and maybe we could start with something such as navigation, for example.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah, we can start there.
So, idea for Jetpack as a service. We're considering not focusing on hardware at first and focusing more on navigation. But what I'll do is navigation. I'll send the first query and then we'll talk about navigation. I left that out. Jetpack as a service, JaaS. JaaS business idea could be highly innovative and exciting, offering numerous opportunities and challenges. Uh, this is something interesting because when we allow ourselves to be kind of crazy, we have like a uh, advantage, which is
Yeah.
this is kind of interesting, exciting business idea.
Sure.
So let's break this down into two categories, opportunities and challenges. So opportunities, novelty and market differentiation, tourism and experiences. Tourism is something that I'm very interested about because I think it's gonna explode. As more and more people are able to travel, I think this will explode. Urban mobility and transportation, which is another very interesting topic. Emergency and public services, media and entertainment, like it could become a major attraction in entertainment. Corporate and VIP services, technological advancements. So these are kind of the opportunities, and like my first impressions on this is that that's that's interesting. I haven't thought of all those industries that we could like impact or kind of tackle. And also like when we say about corporate and VIP services, this is interesting because of
That is probably where it's gonna get started.
yeah, like you can start at a higher tier and kind of go from there. That's what kind of what Tesla did, right? Tesla started with like more expensive cars and then like went down from there. And so challenges, safety and regulation, cost of development and maintenance. This I didn't tell him about hardware versus software, so
Right.
they are considering this. Infrastructure requirement like landing zones, refueling stations, and possible special facilities. Creating this infrastructure can be a significant logistical. Limited flight time and range. This is something I'm not taking into account yet, but it could be an issue.
That's what I was talking about with the
Fuel.
Fuel.
So fuel and power source. So getting that. Training requirements. So we haven't said about navigation.
Yeah.
So these are kind of the challenges that people usually go through when they think about jetpacks, but I think we can approach from a different angle. Environmental concerns, public perception and trust. I think this is one of the
A huge one.
a huge one, yeah. Additional considerations like there's like the business model, possible partnerships to be considered. Here on the business model, should the business model focus on rental, subscription, or training certification? I haven't thought of that. We were thinking about like not neither of these, right? It was more like as a service, like
Yeah. I guess it would have to be more of a subscription model then, because it's something you would be signing up for.
do you consider like Uber a subscription model? I mean, I think they have like a plans, but they're also like on demand, right?
Right.
On demand.
But then if you're thinking it's going to be more VIP based and like kind of special based, especially in the beginning, that's going to be something that's like a
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the like the financial the side has to work, right? So
Right.
and the good side of subscription is that you have like a recurring revenue. So that's kind of a plus to have a subscription versus to having like ad hoc.
right.
But let's see. Collaborating with like tech companies, municipalities, and tourism organizations. That's also interesting. I think that especially when we're talking about like either so there the business model, and there is the kind of the navigation challenge, which is kind of okay. So how do you certify that people aren't gonna die on this, right? This is kind of one of the challenges.
I guess the same challenge that Tesla's facing right now, and Google with what is it, Waymo,
Autonomous cars and things like that.
autonomous cars. It's the same challenge, but in a little bit or much different, much bigger field or environment, I should say.
So yeah, that's a good comparison, and I think that
Because if you can get the cars to get, if you can get the cars to get certified on the streets, why wouldn't you be able to get? You would, I would think, eventually be able to get um, something to fly itself.
yeah, definitely, and I think it's interesting that we're talking about Tesla more than once. So it seems like there are many similarities. We're talking about a new way of transportation, and we're talking about something that's like self-driving or self-flying. And so I think we can learn a lot from what Tesla has done.
Yeah.
And there's something to be considered here, which is training these models for flying or driving. This is something that can also be done in kind of a virtual environment.
Okay.
So I think that this can be like something that not a lot of people are looking at, which is what if we could kind of train a model like a self-driving jetpack model to be able to kind of fly safely, and we could do it that virtually, so that like jetpack manufacturers could kind of use those like self-flying
So they already have those. Like for people who fly planes, they have those kind of
flight
virtual
simulator.
flight simulator, virtual environments. You could potentially set that up on its own. I could see have its own environment where it would be controlled in.
Yeah,
They already have the environment, I would say, built.
yeah,
So you just put the software in there to see how it ran.
I think so too. I think that it's not too far away from what we could do, like kind of at least an initial version, like we could do it like fast, and that's kind of the approach.
That's how I think if you could get the software to be uploaded to something like that, then you could get the initial, probably
like funding or something.
Funding really, like you wouldn't have to worry about hardware fuel or anything about that. Well, you would, but like you wouldn't have to worry about that. That would be the first thing I would tackle.
Yeah. And expanding on that, if we have like a software for like a jetpack simulator, which I don't think it's a thing, but let me see, jetpack simulator. Jetpack simulator.
Roblox.
But so data and analytics, we could have that data and analytics as like a basis for providing insights. Monetization models, we could monetize like license agreements, subscription for premium features, or even real-time weather updates. That's interesting. When you're flying, you really want to know how's the weather.
That should probably be a standard feature, not
Imagine you're just flying your jetpack and there's like this storm. Not ideal. Regulatory assistance, advanced features with AI autonomy. Offering AI-powered autonomous or semi-autonomous flight feature would put your product on the cutting edge, allowing novice users to fly. That's kind of what we're talking about, but what I get from this is that maybe we don't need to go all the way to automation. That's actually, at least that's kind of what ChatGPT is doing, is coming from. It's like we could just have a software that flies. Yeah, but if it's not autonomous, it's like.
Well, I think at some level you still need to be able to like fly the jet. There's something like there's no way you can. Well, I mean, at this level.
I mean, yeah, you can still want users to be able to kind of
control what they're doing. And in case there is a software malfunction, they have to be able to at least know.
So yeah, they're kind of safety.
It's a safety concern.
Yeah.
Like
I've recently I saw.
That's for the manufacturers to worry about.
Yeah, for one example I just heard was like there's an helicopter. If the helicopter dies, you can press a button, like a parachute opens.
Okay.
So we could have something like that. Kind of if there's like a malfunction in the system, a parachute opens automatically or something along those lines. Okay, so the ChatGPT brought like opportunities and like key software features, autonomous and assisted navigation, precision GPS, and geofencing. Yeah, that's something we need to have in mind, like geofences for like airports, things like that. That's also possible kind of That's also like a possible future barrier to entry.
Mm.
If we have kind of the standard, we're talking to kind of, let's say, governments, and they kind of can define geofences.
Yeah.
For example, when I was in Bangkok, we were flying like my friend has a drone, and we were flying this beautiful building. Later, we found that it was the parliament. So
No drone.
not ideal. Yeah, we shouldn't be flying there. But yeah, so this can be also integrated, like having geofences
Yeah.
and also like routes, like air routes that can also.
Yeah, that could be something that could get implemented sooner. Is if you have just like pre-planned routes. Like I
Mhm.
know whenever they have Waymo, like in the U.S., the Google self-driving car, like they can't go on the highway. They only have like.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
They can only go on like regular streets and stuff like that. So it would just be like a step-by-step process. You can implement. You can have like maybe a route from like the airport to the middle of town somewhere, and that's the one route you start with. And then it goes well. You build into other routes, and you like expand, kind of like a subway system, I guess. But then the routes
Like
just continually expand.
Yeah, I start with like the most like important ones that we would be able to serve,
Yeah.
and then kind of expand from there. Yeah, definitely. Obstacle detection and avoidance, flight planning and route optimization, real-time weather integration, emergency landing protocols, user-friendly interface and heads-up display, fail-safe system and remote monitoring, augmented reality integration, inter-device communication. Interesting. And yeah, I mean, all of those things, like if there is a protocol to be followed, it makes it much easier for everybody to kind of talk at the same language and
Yeah.
improve. Okay, challenges: integration with different hardware platforms. Will require a lot of customization and collaboration. This is a challenge that I find like very interesting. Like, what kind of how can we optimize for integrating with different hardware manufacturers? How can we make sure that we have a interface that's easily like and that can be easily understood and integrated with regulatory compliance? That's not a challenge.
That's a down the road.
Yeah, definitely. And that's more like a traditional kind of
Yeah.
issue for someone else to focus on. Real-time processing and reliability. Yeah, this needs to be highly reliable. This is in bold for a reason, and
Yeah.
I think this is one of the key. Like, we cannot have a system that's 99.9% safe, because 99.9 means like every 1,000 there's like a problem.
Yeah.
And if there's a problem in a jetpack,
That's not
that's
good.
that. Yeah. So battery and fuel efficiency, what you said. Cybersecurity also.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is something that cost of development, pilot training, partnership and testing, data machine. Okay, so yeah, we have kind of a broad view on this, and jetpack flight. 229 million views. What?
People love jetpacks,
Man, I've never seen a video with that many views.
Oh, I think I've seen that one before.
Oh, that's a short. Oh, that's why it has so many views. I'm scared for the guy. It doesn't seem too heavy. Huh?
That's sick.
Yeah. His legs are like loose, but he's so close to the water. It looks like maybe he's not. I don't think he is.
Yeah, I don't know how high you can get with those things.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I mean, if he touches the water, he could like sink, right? But yeah, that's a short. That's why it has so many views. I mean, this
Yeah.
number is crazy. But let's open this one. So two things I'd like to do is I would like to the next step would be, okay, let's focus on navigation system and on developing self-flying navigation systems that could be used by manufacturers. like a virtual, like developing a virtual environment for different models to be tested. Um, what are the kind of next steps
Considerations.
and considerations for this? Yeah, let's see how it goes. Developing a self-flying navigation system for jetpacks can be tested in a virtual environment is a significant challenge, but it can create a comprehensive and scalable solution for manufacturers. Here's a breakdown for the next steps. Define core functionalities and navigation systems. Autonomous flight algorithms, adaptive control systems, and user interface and heads-up display. Create a virtual environment testing, integration of flight dynamics, obstacle and terrain mapping, customizable jetpack models. Yeah, that's kind of what I said earlier. 3, develop the software architecture, modular design for compatibility, integration with sensors and AI systems, cloud-based monitoring, data collection, build and train AI models for navigation. Yeah, that's a lot. We need to simplify this. Plan for real-world transition and establish testing and validation frameworks. Realism in simulations is something that we should consider. Interoperability with different jetpack models, scalability, safety and redundancy, cost and resource management. Okay, so this is kind of more, and this is interesting because this is kind of more complex than kind of what we can deal with now.
Yeah.
And so the next step I would ask is, the last question that ChatGPT asked was, would you like to start diving deeper into technical architecture? I was like, no, I want to go the opposite way. So my question is, what kind of, like who would be the first, I would say, how can we have an MVP? A really simple MVP for that. Maybe, let me be biased here, maybe using Unreal Engine 5, which is like a game development platform or something. We want to prove that we can kind of translate that virtual experience into the real world. Let's see, how can we have a really simple MVP for that? Create a simple MVP for a self-flying navigation system with virtual testing capabilities is a smart way to quickly validate your idea. Here's how you can approach. First, define the core MVP objectives. Keep the MVP focused and manageable. The goal should be to demonstrate basic autonomous navigation in a virtual environment, showcase the system abilities to respond to obstacle and terrain, translate data from the virtual environment into metrics. Choose your tools, Unreal Engine 5, AI navigation software. You need a basic AI that can handle pathfinding and obstacle avoidance. This can be integrated into Unreal Engine using an existing library or custom scripts. I didn't know that, but that's nice to know. Basic features, autonomous navigation in a simple virtual environment, build a basic flight world, jetpack movement physics, program simple jetpack flight mechanics using the Unreal Engine physics engine. Basic obstacle detection, simple control system, virtual sensors, and telemetry, data translation. This is kind of, I think this is above like a minimum viable product. Like data translation to real world, I think kind of for me, like the MVP would be having a virtual world where we can have kind of video as the one we saw, like 229 million views.
Yeah.
Like a one person flying on a jetpack and landing.
This is it was asking if you can get even simpler. Because you use specifically Unreal Engine 5, and Unreal Engine 5 is like a very...
So let's use that goal of, can we have a, so what would be a good way of having a simple jetpack flight video on, what if it's just like a video? We could do like runway. Creating a simple jetpack flight video can be done in a variety of ways.
Yeah, see, because
What?
now it's giving us like real world stuff as well.
What
So I
does it
think you
say?
end up doing it. You would have to design the flightware or the software, and then you'd be able to test it in Unreal Engine 5. And then if you could get that MVP to work in Unreal Engine 5, then you would be able to uh,
But you said design the software?
yeah, that's what it's.
Virtual animations, download and install UE5, create a jetpack model or download one. You can find free or paid jetpack models in online. They're so happy. They're so happy. These have like on their feet. This is like 40 or something.
It's so funny.
Let's try this. So Unreal Engine has a physics engine to simulate flight. I
Right.
think this is like a very powerful tool. But if we're talking about just creating the video, we can do it like
Okay.
with this.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Like you just want the.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if the MVP is like creating the video, we can get this done in like a couple of minutes as long as we're allowed to use the service. But so I think we can kind of wrap up for today.
Yeah.
And what I'd like to like the last thing I'd like to do before that is asking which skills would be necessary for that, and which kind of professionals could help us with that. We want to reach out to them on LinkedIn. This is one very interesting step, which is okay. Some of the capabilities we might not have like the skills required to do
Right.
those, but we can kind of reach out to people that do have, and it's like okay,
Form the team.
yeah. That it would be so cool if we were able to generate this. Maybe let's try Gen 2. This is like an older model, but it might just give us something. So to create a simple jet flight video, 3D modeling and animation, physics simulator, virtual environment creator, visual effects and compositing, drone videography, video editing, sound design, Unreal Engine specialist. 3D modeler, no, that's too complicated. It's too complicated. What is like one professional that could make a first version of this? We don't want to form an entire team because it's like it's
Yeah.
complicated, right?
Right.
A 3D generalist or VFX artist. 3D generalist can handle a wide range of tasks. So yeah, it's focusing a lot on the video thing,
Yeah.
but that's like not ideal because we're not like creating a video company, or we want to create like a 3D simulation. So I think that kind of creating we we could focus on creating a virtual environment on UE5. I'm sticking to it for now, but let's not. A virtual environment. We could focus on creating a virtual environment to test that as an MVP that could be expanded. Who could help us with that? What should we look for on LinkedIn? Okay, let's see.
Watch the video.
That's like unsettling. It's like, what's happening?
The boat in the background.
That's not even like the best model we have available for free. So that's something that can be a challenge. Unreal Engine developer. Let's wrap this up. So Let me let me search this Unreal Engine developer. Right. Okay. We're looking for make the smaller message for the Unreal Engine developer only, not too formal. Do I have someone in my direct? No, I don't think so. No. Let's try this guy. And also this one. Hi, I'm working on a cool project to build a virtual environment for testing Jetpack navigation. That could be a great fit. Aim to create a simple map for novel interface. That is not good enough. So, to build a virtual environment for testing Jetpack self-flying self-flying navigation systems. For testing a Jetpack, so I think that could be a great fit. Aim to create a that is not best. Oh, 300, 300 charts. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Send. And now this one. That's it, man. How was
That was
the?
cool. It was interesting. Like, in an hour, we went from like a very large concept to breaking it down into what could actually be viable, even like today, like something that could be like started on and developed further. It was cool for me to see how like you were working through it too, because like um, I don't know, this was my first time, I guess, like doing an exercise like this as well. So it was interesting to do, and I'm actually curious to see where this goes.
Nice. Yeah, for me, it's like two main things from this is I would say three. One is kind of believing in that intuition, that crazy ideas, that crazy thoughts that come, and
Yeah.
sometimes we're like not paying attention because it's like, well, that would be too good to be true.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
This is one thing. The second one is like kind of using AI to simplify and to kind of
Help guide you.
it's like oxygen. It's like it opens our eyes to all the different possibilities, and then we use it to narrow it down also.
Yeah.
So it's like breathing. And the third one is like, okay, we might not have all the expertise, but we can reach out to people that would love to be a part of this project.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah. So thanks, and
Yeah, thank you,
let's
man.
see
I
how it goes.
appreciate it. That was that was really fun and very informative.
Okay, see ya. Okay.